I am on my phone way too much, so it is time for another reading challenge. I saw this challenge over at Leonie's channel from the book Leo, and basically she swapped her reading... No, not her reading time for screen time. She swapped her screen time for reading time. So this week I'm going to try to read as much as possible and not go on my phone. We're gonna check my screen time and we're gonna make it into reading time. And I'm probably going to be reading one of the following 5 books that I'm going to mention because this video is kindly sponsored by Book of the Month. If you don't know, Book of the Month is an amazing US-based subscription service for readers, and every single month their team goes through dozens of new releases and they pick their 5 most favorite ones that you can choose from on their website. And if you use the code BRIT, you can get your first hardcover new release for only $9.99. Let's take a look at the 5 books for February. First one is Don't Cry For Me by Daniel Black. A black father makes amends with his gay son through letters written on his deathbed in this wise and penetrating novel of empathy and forgiveness. The Golden Couple by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. This is a twisty tale of a therapist with unconventional methods trying to unlock the mystery of a perfect marriage. Vladimir, written by Julia May Jonas. An incandescent debut about marriage and motherhood, art and love, and the temptation to see just how close you can get to the fire without getting burned. Peach Blossom Spring by Melissa Fu. A moving debut novel about war, migration, and the power of telling our stories that follows 3 generations of a Chinese family on their search for a place to call home. A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. Unexplained disappearances draw a reluctant hero back to his island home to confront spirits in this spellbinding fantasy tale. These are the 5 February books. I am most definitely going to pick one this week, but I will tell you later on in the vlog. Please do keep in mind that Book of the Month currently only ships to the US. However, the majority of you guys out there watching my videos are from the United States, so many of you can enjoy this offer. It is also completely risk-free, so if you would like to skip a month, that is no problem at all. You will not be charged and you can just start whenever you want again. So if you would like to get one of these 5 books or more, they have so many more books, definitely check out the link in my description and use the code BRIT to get your first one for $9.99. Again, thanks so much Book of the Month for collaborating with me on this video. But now let's take a look at my screen time and let's see how much I'm going to read every single day of this week. Okay, let's take a look at my screen time. I'm filming this intro on Friday, but I'm going to start on Sunday. I'm just going to look at like last week. Today I've already been on my phone for 2 hours. What the hell? Okay, so last week my average was 4 hours and 40 minutes. Are you kidding me? I'm going to cheat a little bit because I'm going to take WhatsApp off. Oh my god, Instagram. I'm going to take WhatsApp off. If I'm not on WhatsApp, like I live alone, if I'm not on WhatsApp, I have 0 contact with people. A big part of my social life when I'm at home is on WhatsApp. So if I'm not on WhatsApp, I literally have no social life when I'm at home. So I'm going to take that off, 3 hours and 60 minutes. Instagram, 11 hours and 50 minutes. Oh my god, get here or get here. There's like an online grocery shopping app. I spent an hour and 40 minutes on that. It's so cheap. Facebook, how am I on Facebook for 55 minutes? Oh my goodness. And look, I have all of these limits, but I always just press ignore whenever I reach the limit. Instagram, 11 hours and 15 minutes. That is absolutely mental. Oh, okay, so my total screen time is 32 hours and 42 minutes, but I'm going to take the WhatsApp off, which is like 3 hours, let's say 30 hours in total on my phone per week, or like last week. That is roughly 4 hours per day. How am I going to do this? I'm going to try. I really am going to try. I'm going to use this app Forest. I've used this in my last video where I'm doing like a reading challenge. Basically Forest, this is not sponsored, but I just love Forest. Also Forest, if you're watching this. It's basically an app where you can set timers for say 30 minutes or however long you want to focus. And when you press the timer, a little tree is going to grow, and if you want to go to a different app, it says if you go, like, please go back to forest, otherwise your tree will die and you will have a dead tree in your forest. If we take a look at my forest right now, I haven't done anything this week. However, this month, look, I've already focused for 14 hours and 30 minutes. So it really motivates me to not go on my phone. So every time I want to focus and I want to read, I'm going to set a timer for 30 minutes. And look, you can easily just change it like this. So yeah, I will get back to you on Sunday when I'm going to start this challenge, and let's see if we can hit 4 hours every day. I have major reading updates. I have already read for 2 hours and 55 minutes a day. It is currently 5 p.m. I have nearly finished The Woman Destroyed by Simone de Beauvoir. I don't believe I've told you that I'm reading this book. Have I? This is a book that consists of 3 short stories, and they're all about women who are dealing with different just things in their life. One of the women, for example, her husband is cheating with a younger woman. The other one is a scholar whose newest book is not getting the best reviews. And then the third story, or that's the middle story, is about a woman whose husband and son have left her and she's kind of on her own. So I've already read 2.5 stories. The first one was about the woman who is a scholar and whose book is not being received very well. I enjoyed that one a bit. It did, like, not a lot was happening, but I could feel her struggle very much. Then the second one was a very short one about the rich woman whose son and husband have left her. That one was very it made me feel very kind of anxious because that woman was just incredibly angry. And the writing style of that story was very weird. It felt like the woman was just talking out loud very fast, not using any like, sometimes I just didn't know where she was going. It was very, like, a quick story because it was very short as well, but very loud in my head. Even though, you know what I mean? This sounds very weird, but it just felt like she was screaming in my head. And now I'm reading the third one, which is about the woman whose husband is cheating on her with a younger woman. And that one is making my blood boil. But also because of the woman, but mainly because of the man, because he's cheating on his wife with a younger woman, but his wife is kind of allowing it because she's like, if he will just kind of, get through that relationship or like through that affair, he will get back to me. So she's kind of allowing him to just go away and visit that younger woman, whereas he's just saying like, okay, now I'm going to go to my mistress. So he's a piece of shit. But with the wife, I'm also just like, why are you allowing this? Around 60 pages left of this one, but I wanted to read a little bit of a lighter story, so I decided to go on Script and look for some fun graphic novels. So I have read volume 1 of Lumberjanes, which is a very fun graphic novel series about this kind of scouting group for girls, and they're going on adventures and they're fighting monsters. So I read volume 1, and I'm currently reading volume 2 because they're all on Script. Script is like this ebook audiobook service. This is not sponsored, but I just love Script very much. There's so many like books on there, and you can actually use my code in the description. You will get a month free, and you can just cancel anytime. And if any of you sign up using that code, I also get a free month, so it's like a win-win. And I'm just loving Script very much. So I'm going to finish volume 2 as well, and I have like an hour and 5 minutes left, so I'm just going to set my timer for 30 minutes again. And let's see if I'll be able, definitely will be able to finish the graphic novel, but let's see if I'll also be able to read some more from The Woman Destroyed. So I'm going to set a timer for 30 minutes again and just read some more. So I will probably go back to you maybe tonight or tomorrow with some reading updates for day 1 of reading 4 hours every day. This is very unflattering lighting, so I'll just keep this brief, but I did it. It is 7:15 p.m. I finished Lumberjanes Volume 2. The first one I've decided to give 3 stars. Like, the entire vibe of the story was very fun, and the girls and their friendships and some love and the kind of adventures. But I thought that the story itself was a little bit weak, like the plot. However, volume 2, I like that one a lot more. I've decided to give that 4 stars because there was this really cool like Greek mythology theme in there, which was really fun. So I don't know if I'll be reading more of those. Maybe I will, because I'm actually feeling like reading some more graphic novels. I think I will be just reading more on my iPad tonight, which means that I will even read more than 4 hours. But in The Woman Destroyed, I'm on page 164, so I will finish this one tomorrow. Tomorrow you'll be seeing me back home again, because tonight's the last night I was staying here. Cat sitting Sar. Let's say goodbye to Sar. She's just like, oh my goodness, just let me sleep and relax there. Good morning, it is Monday morning. Yesterday, oh my goodness, I read, I think, like an hour and a half more before I went to bed. I didn't turn on the Forest app, which is pity, but I looked on my iPad on Script and I read for over 2.5 hours just on Script alone yesterday. And what I read were 2 more graphic novels called Giant Days, and I've seen those around. And I thought I would just read the synopsis. It's about these 3 girls who go to university. It's basically just about university life. Boys, exams, parties, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, mental health, love. Everything you can think of when you think of university. I'm loving this very, very much. I've never really found a graphic novel series, apart from Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, where I was like, I want to continue reading this. Most of the time it's just like fun, like the Lumberjanes. I've read 2 volumes, but I won't be continuing. However, with this one, I actually do want to continue, so I'm super happy with this. I'm already feeling like so much for these characters. I'm loving their different personalities. I'm loving the little, you know, love, all of these things. I'm just like, yes, I'm enjoying this one very much. It's not like I'm giving them 5 stars. I gave the first one, I think, 3.75 out of 5 stars, and the second one, 3.5 out of 5 stars, the second volumes. But I'm just enjoying them very much. So I am definitely going to continue reading those. And what I've also decided is that I can listen to an audiobook and then turn my Forest app on, which means that I still won't be able to go on my phone. For example, if I'm having lunch and I would like to read, I can listen to an audiobook as well. Or, you know, when I'm just walking outside, I can also listen to an audiobook, because sometimes if I'm walking outside, I would just be on my phone still. So I've also decided that I can listen to audiobooks for the 4 hours every day. But right now, it is going so very well. I'm feeling super inspired and just motivated to read a lot. I also read a bit more this morning from The Woman Destroyed. I'm currently on page 172, so I will definitely be finishing this one today. But today is Monday. I just packed some orders because I did a big shop update yesterday. I added lots of new washi tapes and a tote bag and a sticker and a print. So if you would like to check out my shop and my new products, definitely check out the link in my description. There's also a discount code that you can use if you come from YouTube. But right now, in like half an hour, I have to go to The Hague because I sell my products in some physical stores as well, these Swan market stores. One of them is in The Hague, and in return of like me being allowed to sell my products there, I have to work there twice a month. So I'll be working there today from 1 till 6, so it's only 5 hours. But on the way there in the train, I will definitely be reading more from The Woman Destroyed. Oh, I'm feeling so inspired to read a lot. And I can't wait to continue reading the graphic novel series too. I completely forgot to tell you what audiobook I'm listening to right now. I'm listening to Mostly Harmless by Douglas Adams. This is the 5th and final book in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. This is a very fun sci-fi series that follows this guy on Earth as well as people in space, and it's about space travel and space adventures. The first book, I read that one a few years ago. I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. But then with every book, it just got a little bit less exciting, and it's just, the books are very bizarre and weird. Basically just the stories. The writer has a very weird imagination. Sometimes it doesn't really make any sense. And I'm finally listening. I've listened to the 3rd and 4th book last week, so now I'm listening to the 5th one called Mostly Harmless, and I'm not enjoying it too much, to be honest. I haven't really laughed out loud yet, and with the first one and the second one as well, I definitely had to laugh out loud a few times, but I feel like the humor is just getting a bit more meh. So I will still be finishing it because I'm already 47% of the way through, but it's just not my favorite series. I'm glad that this is the final book, so I've actually finished the series again, but I think I might be unhauling the book because I have the physical copies on my shelf, but I think I might be unhauling them after finishing this one because I really don't see myself rereading this series. But I do really like the audiobooks because they are narrated by Martin Freeman, and I really like his voice and just his personality and him as an actor and a person. So that is very fun, but the book itself is just a bit meh. So yeah, that is still the audiobook that I'll be listening to today and maybe tomorrow. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. Happy Tuesday! I just did something very exciting I want to tell you about first because today marks the 1-year anniversary of me working on basically Brit full time, which is so freaking cool. I can't believe it's been 1 year already. I am just having the best time of my life, and this is the best job I could ever dream of. And also, if you're from Rotterdam or anywhere in the Netherlands, you can also get my products in a different shop. It is called Voorlopig in Rotterdam. I will leave a link down below in the description where you can check out the address, but I just put all of my products there, and it's so exciting to see my products in another store. This is the 3rd store that I'm selling my products in now, which is so freaking cool. So it's already been a very exciting day, but I have a couple of reading updates because yesterday I finished A Woman Destroyed by Simone de Beauvoir. I decided to give it 3.75 out of 5 stars because of the 3 different stories. The final story that I was reading, like I already started reading that one yesterday, where it talks about how this woman, like when her husband is cheating and she's kind of allowing it to just happen because she's just hoping that after a while he will get tired of that woman and, you know, will come back to her. But after a while, I felt like I got to know her so much better, and also the reason behind why she was doing this or why she thought this was a good idea. It was actually really, really sad and tragic, and the fact that she went to all of her friends to, you know, just be able to think about something else. But in the end, it always was about her husband cheating, and it was definitely a very tragic story, even though she could have ended this herself by breaking up with him because he's freaking cheating on her and she knows it, and he's just, you know, he's still doing it. But it was, yeah, very tragic, annoying as well, frustrating, but it was definitely the best one out of the 3. I enjoyed the last one a lot. So that is why I gave it 3.75 out of 5 stars. But yesterday I read so much. much because I had to work in the store where I also sell my products, a different one. However, on Monday it's always just very, very quiet and we didn't really have that much to do, so I also just read a lot during the day, whereas normally I'm always just on my phone if there's no one in the store. But then I wasn't. So let's take a look at how much I read yesterday, how many hours I focused. I read for 4 hours and 50 minutes. Amazing. So I already have a big forest from yesterday, and then let me see, today, as I said, 50 minutes. It is going so very well. Today I already read an entire graphic novel. I read Giant Days Volume 3 because I'm absolutely loving this series a lot. It's just such a fun series about this university and these girls, and I'm really liking it a lot, so I am definitely going to read more of those graphic novels. And also, I forgot to tell you, I read an entire audiobook yesterday. I finished the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. Again, I wanted to say Guardian's Guide of the Galaxy. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. I finished it yesterday. I read the entire book. I listened to the entire book. Also just on my way, like on the metro and on the train to work. The fifth one was okay. I think I gave it I will give it 3 out of 5 stars, but it's a pity. I really wanted more from this series and I expected way more because the first book was so amazing. But yeah, I have finished the entire series and I listened to the entire audiobook yesterday. I will continue reading Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. I started this one last week. I wasn't really into it too much, but I will continue reading it, this week, hopefully finish it. If you don't know, Lolita is about a man named Humbert. He's a very adult man and he's in love with this 12-year-old girl. So it's basically, the premise is just absolutely disgusting. And you're reading all about his thoughts when seeing this girl, and just, it's making me sick. But it is such an incredibly popular book that I really wanted to give it a try. And I can kind of understand the appeal because it's quite captivating, because it's so messed up, but you're just kind of curious how this guy is thinking and how messed up his brain is. It is definitely an incredibly shocking book. I am currently 86 pages of the way through this book, so I've not read too much, but I will read more tonight and we'll see how far I will get. So this will be the next book that I will hopefully finish, but I will keep you updated. I'm going to work now and I'll see you soon. Okay, my work station, desk, packing station is an absolute mess. I had to pack all of these orders and my neck hurts a lot now. Super grateful, of course, for all of these orders, but I was kind of waiting until the last moment to pack all of them because I have to ship them out. This was my last shop update. I had lots of I added lots of new products to my shop, so I had to pack lots of orders. But now I'm going to be doing some yoga because I haven't done yoga in a couple of days because I was cat sitting the cat and I didn't have my yoga mat with me, and I feel very stiff. So I'm going to be doing some yoga with Adrian because I've been doing her 30-day yoga challenge. Happy Friday, everyone. I didn't really film much for the past couple of days. However, I have many reading updates because it is going so freaking well. So I read 2 more of the Giant Days graphic novels, which I'm enjoying so very much. So I can't wait to continue with that entire series. I feel like I finally found this graphic novel series that I just love reading a lot and that I really want to continue. So that is very exciting. I decided to not continue with Lolita right now. I just wasn't feeling it. So I decided to pick up 2 other books. The first one is Normal People by Sally Rooney. This one is of course a very, very popular one, and this one has a lot of mixed reviews. So people either absolutely adore this book or they just can't be bothered by it. I'm actually enjoying it a lot. I am over halfway through, and this is basically about two people named Connell and Marianne, and it says they grow up in the same small town in the west of Ireland, but the similarities end there. In school, Connor is popular and well liked, while Marianne is a loner. But when the two strike up a conversation, awkward but electrifying, something life-changing begins. Like, the premise is very simple, and I have to say not a lot is happening, but I'm still very invested in their relationship. So this is the first one that I'm reading, but I also wanted to start another one, and I started Vladimir by Julia May Jonas. When I first saw this cover, I was just like, this is not the book for me. I would never pick up this book based on the cover, because I thought, oh, this is just like one of those romance books. But I just read the synopsis more, and I thought, you know what? This is, I think, actually quite an interesting character study, and it isn't really a romance. There is romance involved, but there is a lot more to this story, so I will read you from the back. When I was a child, I loved old men, and I could tell that they also loved me. And so we meet our deliciously incisive narrator, a popular English professor whose charismatic husband at the same small liberal arts college is under investigation for inappropriate relationships with his former students. The couple had long maintained a comfortable understanding when it comes to extramarital pursuits, but with these allegations, life has become far less comfortable for them both. And when our narrator finds herself alarmingly infatuated with Vladimir Vladinsky, a celebrated young novelist newly arrived on campus, that tinderbox world comes dangerously close to exploding. So this isn't like a romance at all. It is a very interesting character study of this professor who's becoming kind of obsessed with this Vladimir character. I just don't understand why they chose this cover, because if you were to see this in a bookstore, you would assume that this is like a steamy romance, which it isn't. I'm enjoying this book a lot. I am already this far into it, so I've nearly finished it already, and it is very interesting that what this woman is thinking, how she's becoming like so obsessed with this Vladimir character. The only thing is that from the synopsis, it really feels like, you know, that they tell the reader like, oh, she's really obsessed with him, but in like half of the book, you didn't really notice that very much, even though Vladimir was already very much around. So it definitely took some time for her to like kind of grow this obsession. But now things are very much happening, and it's just like, okay, girl, slow down. But it is actually really good. So I'm happy that I just took a second look at what this book is actually about, because I'm enjoying it a lot. So I think it really depends on the final part of this book if I will give it 3 or 4 stars, or like 3.5 or 4 stars. But I'm enjoying it a lot, and it's a very, very quick read, because it is of course very short, but also the writing style is just nice to get through, you know? And the characters are very interesting. So these are the 2 books that I'm currently reading that I will most definitely finish in these next 2 days, because I still have today and tomorrow to read, which means if I finish these 2, I think I've read like 10, is it 10 books? Okay, there are graphic novels in that, so of course those are faster reads, but still, that's amazing. I do hope that I get to read the 4 hours today, because my new laptop will be delivered like in the next hour or 2. I ordered myself a new MacBook because my old MacBook is like over 5 years old, and it is nearing its end. It is just, you know, whenever I'm editing, it just takes a long time, and I've had it for a long time. So I ordered myself a new one, and I'm so excited, but I'm also a bit scared because of new technology, and it's just expensive, and yeah. So fingers crossed that everything will just go fine, but I can't wait for it to arrive. So of course I will be like installing that one today. But then tonight I'm going to my parents' house, so I will have time to read on the metro there and back. And this morning I already read a little bit more from Vladimir, so it's going very well. At the end of this like vlog, I will show you my entire forest that I created. And I'm just a bit overwhelmed with how well this challenge is going. Also before bed, I just don't go on my phone much anymore, and it feels so great. Oh my god, my new MacBook is here, and it is so pretty. I already installed everything. I decided to start from scratch with everything, but I like put all my photos and videos on an external hard drive, but I wanted to install every single program from scratch, and oh my goodness, it's so pretty. So I have this sort of stand where I can put it on with an external keyboard because it just works better. I need to fix something for my mouse because it's like I have to use one of these adapters because the USB thing, like they're only the small USB ones, but for now it's like fine. But oh, I'm so happy. It is so pretty and the screen is so bright. So this is very exciting. This is the 2021 14-inch MacBook Pro, and oh, I'm obsessed. But now I'm going to finish this book because I only have like 20 or 30 pages left, but then my, laptop arrived, so I was installing that. So I'm going to finish this and then I'm going over to my parents' house. Okay, it is time for the final reading update. It is Sunday morning right now. Yesterday, I finished all of the books that I was still currently reading. So I finished Normal People by Sally Rooney. I have to say, I'm a bit disappointed by this book. I've decided to give it 3 out of 5 stars. I don't really know how people are so obsessed with this book because honestly, it was a little bit boring. Like not much was happening plot-wise. It was interesting getting to know the characters very much. It took place over like months and months and months, and every couple of months it was like 3 months later, 4 months later, and it was interesting seeing what their relationship was between them. I loved the writing style. It felt like I was just like flowing through the plot. Sometimes you went back in time a little bit and then you went back to the present, and it really felt like the way that you would want to talk about your own life, sort of. It felt just, the writing style was absolutely beautiful. But every time I was reading, I suddenly thought, oh, I think this is going to happen in the end. Oh, I thought this is going to happen in the end. But when the ending was finally there and I like flipped the last page, I was just like, wait, this is it? I was not really impressed. So I decided to give it 3 out of 5 stars. It was definitely, like, I understand the appeal, but I was missing something very much. So yeah, I'm happy I finally read it though, and I'm quite interested in watching the TV show one day. Then I also finished Vladimir by Julia May Jonas. Really enjoyed this one. I've decided to give this 3.25 out of 5 stars. The reason I didn't give it like 3.5 or maybe 4 stars was also because of the ending, which was also just not what I expected, not really what I wanted. I didn't feel like it was a good closure in my opinion. I just wanted more from the ending, and just I wanted to know more about these characters and the end of their story. But this was a very surprising read. I was so pleasantly surprised, and I'm glad I picked it up and just looked a bit further than just a cover, because I think covers are quite important. And because this one was a little bit misleading, I'm glad I looked at the back of the book to see what the synopsis was like. But this was just a very interesting kind of getting into someone's head who is kind of obsessed with this other person and what they're willing to do to like get closer to that person. So yes, definitely recommend this one. But with these 2 books, it means that I have read all of these books during this week, which means that it is my absolute best reading week ever. This has completely changed my week. May have changed my life. Especially in the evening, it helped me so much to just put my phone on forest, not go on my phone, and just read a lot. Like yesterday I read like an hour without stopping, and that hardly ever happens. So this was incredibly successful. I really hope you liked this challenge. If you have any other ideas for reading challenges that I can do, don't forget to let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want to comment something but you don't know what to comment a little phone emoji, because this was all about, well, not going on my phone, but it had to do with a phone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I will see you in my next video.